place that is safe. So do it now, and don't, right now, it's critical.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Okay.
Obviously, a lot of people on one island trying to go one place or go another, and there is difficulty tonight. There are problems on the roadways with people in gridlock. They are stuck in traffic. The mayor says if you are stuck in traffic, pull over. Obviously, don't stop in the middle of the roadway. Pull over in a safe area, and you can simply walk a few blocks inland to safety, or walk vertically up into a high-rise up above a third floor and higher to walk to safety. And we also heard earlier tonight from other civil defense officials about siren problems here on Oahu. All the sirens apparently didn't fire. Police said they didn't hear them in the field. They refired those sirens again about 10 minutes later. So we're obviously going to be finding out more about these details, about these problems in the weeks and months ahead. But for now, the key thing is get out of the way. Do not head toward the shore. Head away from the shore if at all possible, but do so in a safe manner. We've heard about a lot of accidents on the roads tonight from distracted and concerned motorists as well. Be safe, but be cautious, and we'll all get through this together. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Keoki. We see our Steve Uehara standing by live at the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center getting ready for that. Another thing that we might want to talk about is Hawaiian Telecom and the alert that they put out. They do not want people to flood the network. Right now they're getting a lot of calls. They want to keep it open for emergency responders.
That's right. No reports of any system outages or problems, but they want people to stay off the phones. We'll get to Steve in a moment. We have Dan Cook standing by live with more. Dan.
Ki, thank you. We're going to take a quick look at traffic as Steve was making his way into Ewa Beach to the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. There are a lot of people that are trying to get out. That is a very busy road right now, and we've heard several conversations. Keoki talking about it'd be really great if they could contraflow. They just can't get that together quick enough. So it's going to be kind of tough coming out of Ewa Beach on Fort Weaver. You can see it's solid there past Ava Drive. We'll just kind of scoot on up and head toward the freeway. There's Laulau at Fort Weaver, and as we get close to the freeway, you can see Farrington and Fort Weaver, it just stops. Now, this is going to be the issue until we can get everybody out of there. Up on the freeway, once they do get up on the freeway, it's clear, but it appears to me that most of the people, Chanel, if we can go back to that shot, it looks like most people are staying on Fort Weaver and going underneath and just headed for higher ground and bypassing the freeway altogether. So we'll watch that. But again, out of Fort Weaver, it's pretty sticky right now. There are a couple of places where they have started to shut off some of the lanes. If you're on the viaduct headed toward Waikiki, you cannot get onto Nimitz Highway. They have got flares and they've got those lanes blocked off. So you can see there's virtually no traffic coming in on Nimitz Highway. Underneath the viaduct, it looks like there is allowed some traffic, but that is definitely going to be slow because of the lanes that are shut off. This is Ala Moana at Ward. We're going to check a couple other spots around Waikiki where they have been blocking traffic. You can see very few cars on the road at this spot. This is we're right at Ala Moana Center looking toward the intersection of Atkinson and Ala Moana. You can see they've got flares and officers there keeping people from going into Waikiki, and there's also police officers at the top of Kalakaua at Kapiolani where they've got that those lanes blocked off there as well. Let's head back to Ewa Beach, and we're going to do that with our cameras here and also with a live connection to Ramsey Wharton, who is there and standing by with more information. Ramsey, to you.
Hi, Dan. I just want to let you know Kapolei Parkway is one of the newer lanes that was put in some years ago, and it sort of runs parallel, if you will, to Fort Weaver. And we have seen, I've been over there for the past half hour watching the traffic flow, and it has finally thinned out. We had major traffic coming from Ewa Beach, sort of at the end there, the inundation zone, where just several blocks away was right at the edge, and cars were just backed up. They had a traffic signal down at Teoneula, and so people were just onesying it through that intersection. It was just backing up, and now finally it appears as we approach another 15 minutes here before the first wave is expected to hit, that most of that traffic has managed to get out on the outlet. If they're not on Fort Weaver, they've been using Kapolei Parkway, which is also a feeder route that will take you right towards Makakilo, which does definitely have higher ground, so expect that area is likely quite full of traffic as people probably try to go up into Makakilo to higher ground. Most of the shopping center there all closed down at Fort Weaver. The Foodland was still serving some ice. There were still some customers trickling in there. But pretty much the Ewa Beach area from the inundation zone on this end, does appear that most people have gotten where they need to be. But right now, guys, we'll send it back to you for the very latest.
All right. Thank you very much, Ramsey. And now we're getting some important information from the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. That is where Steve Uehara is standing by live. Steve.
Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Kiahi. Okay, I want to take a little bit of time and take a look at this picture. I don't know if you guys can see this, but what it does is it starts out here at the source of the earthquake out there in the British Columbian, out there by Canada, and it shows the direct path of that energy as it comes straight towards Hawaii, which is a little eerie considering how much space there is out there in the ocean, and considering the path is coming straight towards us out here in Hawaii. Now, what they did want to say, and they did want to specify, again, this is not a hard model, so there's no need to really set anybody into a panic. What they do want to say is, though, that you can kind of ballpark based off of this, and so we are seeing a lot of energy that's coming out in our direction. Again, though, what we're going to see is possibly 6 feet, maybe a little bit higher. They said that still doesn't compare to what we saw from what happened out there in Japan on March 11th. It doesn't compare what they saw, and it doesn't compare to what we saw out there in Kona. But there's no way to be fully sure. The only way that we're going to find out is when it actually strikes. And what they're expecting is still about 10:30. Now, we have been getting a couple of aftershocks. In fact, I think there was a 6.1 magnitude just a little while ago. What they've been saying right now is that does not affect what we're going to see out here in Hawaii. And actually what we are able to do as well is to clarify exactly what went on. I know maybe a number of you have been watching our evening newscast, maybe saw some of the information out there on the web. Initially, it came over as a 7.1, and there was no need to spark a Pacific tsunami warning. So they came out and they said basically what that was a basic arithmetic mistake. They came out, they corrected that, and shortly after they made sure that the warning was put out. A 6-foot tsunami. Now, I know Guy's probably over there, and he's probably talked about this, and Dan as well. What they did want to say is that we're not going to see one big wave. A tsunami itself is the rising of the ocean, and rather than just a couple of minutes between waves, you're going to see 20 minutes. So it's a big, broad expansion of the water. And so all it takes is about 3 feet of water to actually lift a compact car. So even though you hear 6 feet, and you might kind of think of it maybe as a little bit more of a trivial matter, don't do that. Be wary and make sure that you heed the warnings. And if you're still out there on the roads, please get to safer ground. And we're going to have more information. Again, we're going to have a little bit of an update. They're still meeting right now. They're still gathering information. And I know there's been a lot of questions as to why they can't update with us more information as the night goes along. Last time around, they had buoys between Japan and us. This is a different situation. Most of the readings that they're getting from the West Coast, and those really aren't showing much as far as the movement towards us. So at this point, they're just kind of monitoring the situation, and about 10:30 or so, we're going to know for sure. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much.
Here we are, 10 minutes out, expecting maybe a last-minute update from them. In the past, they've come out and actually spoken live on TV. I think they delivered that picture to Steve and the media just to give us all a visual sense of what we're dealing with here. Dan?
Hey, the city has just now sent out a text, a warning that says, and I'll quote here, if you are in your car and you are still in an evacuation zone, you may consider leaving your car